Hell yeah.
I got a pop-up saying the meeting is being recorded by the host. I
Goddamn
got it.
right.
Got it.
Getting scammed now. I'm gonna see if this OBS source will finally work for the theme song. The Petri dish. The
Cool.
Petri dish. The Petri dish. This is the Petri dish. The Petri dish. The Petri dish. And then it's like, all right, this is the Petri dish. It's the only show that's exactly what I want it to be. And I always forget that until it's time to make it again. And boy, is it time to make it again. I have had requests from several people. Only a few of them related to me. Not even related to me. Shout out Granny. Hope you're watching this on your TV YouTube. Oh, and maybe Reed. Reed specifically requested you, Austin. Did you put eyebrows on your?
I did. How do you like that, Reed?
They almost look normal if it wasn't for the lighting.
They almost look perfect for my face. These are better eyebrows than I currently have.
Are they supposed to be like Groucho Marx eyebrows that are funny, or is it just like a beauty filter? Oh, they
It
went away
seems like
quick.
it's one of the studio effects you can put that just kind of come with the pre-built Zoom software.
I do love fucking with all the Zoom stuff. They have
They have
like
very
green
rude,
screen.
very
Oh my god,
rudimentary stuff.
the white eyebrows might have to be.
This
Wait, is it separate eyebrows and lipstick that you're
is
doing?
going to be a drag podcast now.
Yeah, everybody that's listening on audio, this is your fault.
Except anyone listening in Tennessee, it's illegal right now.
Yeah, this is
So
turn off your computers. Austin looks like a sexy Einstein. You know how they have that? It goes baby Einsteins, regular Einsteins, sexy Einsteins.
oh, I didn't know they got to sexy Einstein.
Yep, it's a Halloween costume, probably.
I'm into it. I'm into the sexy Einstein look. We need more sexy historical figures, I think,
Sexy historical figures.
for Halloween. I don't know. We want to try, maybe we can make that a trend for this
Yeah,
year.
you know what? Now we'll just
Instead of
have to.
making brands or like a brand mascot sexy, just be like a sexy Karl Marx or something.
There we go. Sexy historical figures. That's a solid
Oh, you got like
idea.
a little.
There's a little text box.
Oh, sweet. I'm guessing that's for when you Twitch stream, huh? You get like
It's like there's
a little window you can make
little
build it.
chat thing over here, but I didn't feel like going live because I didn't know if any of my shit was gonna work.
Oh, that'd be fun to do, like a live thing.
Yeah, so eventually we could go live, have a chat function built in over here, and I can just type whatever into the guy over there, and like it works, which is
Yeah, cool. I'd be down to
convenient.
check that out for maybe
Hell
one or
yeah.
two. Because it's, I mean, breaking the fourth wall here. I'm literally coming to you live from one room over. So it sort of defeats the purpose of having Zoom.
It's that's what got me is I was like, I gotta test this,
Mhm.
and it's either it's either tested with Jonathan, and he's not the most tech savvy.
Yeah,
Sorry, Jonathan, you've done great podcasts earlier, but to get the wheels rolling, I needed a true professional.
he had the bare minimum. I think he had enough.
Oh, let's see. And so
So now are we talking about sexy historical figure, or do you want to go into what you
oh
wrote
yeah.
down?
I almost completely forgot about sexy historical figures. I just like that it says that on there now. Yeah, I guess the idea of the Petri dish has always been to take these germs of ideas and grow them as much as we possibly can in the Petri dish of our mind.
Yeah, it's almost like a little writing workshop. It sounds
Yeah.
like a
It's
way to get your
like,
ideas out there on an open forum.
yeah, it's also the main reason I'm doing this is because I tried to take an improv thing online, and the guy wanted to charge me $95 a month to do exactly this, which I'm already good at. And I was like, hey, I could charge me $95 a month to talk shit on Zoom.
And that's all it was. It was like a was this like a legitimate improv group
It's
course
it's
from like
like
a Los Angeles
it
troupe?
wasn't like Groundlings or UCB, but it was like a place that has a little theater. They've got a little community. They're like loosely connected to some comedians' places. I'm sure it's not a scam
Hmm.
because like the guy was also kind of funny, but at the same time, like I just I just think paying to do comedy is always wrong.
Yeah, that's fair. I
And
blurred
so
my
like
background.
hell yeah. That actually doesn't look too bad.
I figured maybe that'll help with the lighting a little bit.
Every once in a while, you just get like a J.J. Abrams lens flare from the back.
Yeah, this is more of an avant-garde kind of take on framing a Zoom call shot.
All right. You know what I was thinking today. Actually, the first germ of an idea we can germinate within the petri dish today is
Hmm.
fucking. What's the worst band name?
What's the worst? Like out of actual all the bands.
It can be fictional or non-fictional because honestly, sometimes the real ones are worse than anything I could imagine.
I mean, what's your metric for it? Do you hate? Is this like what do you look for in a good band name?
In a good band, I look for the word the,
Hmm.
maybe some amount of numbers at the end of the sequence.
Hmm. Like the 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah, yes. 3-6 Mafia,
That'd
good
be an
band name.
example. That'll be an example of one of your go-to band names, group names
And I
that you're
mean,
all
like,
for.
bad band names are UFO. Wait, did you just put a virtual reality headset on yourself?
Yeah, it's called New World.
Hell yeah. This is Oculus Austin ready to take on who the worst band name is. I would say some bands that agree that their name is awful. One would be the Foo Fighters,
They
which
agreed, like they're also not all on board.
Dave Grohl knows it's a dumb name and has said
Well,
as much before.
didn't it come from like a historic, like it's what they used to call the old World War II fighter planes?
It's what the fighter pilots would call like aliens or UFOs back in the day. The whatever aerial
Oh,
phenomenon was happening, it would just be a random Foo Fighter out there,
oh,
not a part of anything. They don't know what the fuck's going on.
like I thought
Like
that was just a nickname for like a an airborne division or something. But that actually makes it cooler in my book. I think that's an even better
that's what
band
I'm
name.
saying. Like Dave Grohl says it's a dumb name, and who am I to disagree with him? But at the same time, I love the Foo Fighters, and also it's kind of a cool name, or else they wouldn't have. I'm not going to say with a different name they wouldn't have made it as far. Maybe a better name. What they're at the top of rock and roll, so it's hard to shit on them about it.
No, yeah, I think Foo Fighters is a decent. It's good. I like that name.
The one that always makes
Definitely not
me
worst band name.
the one that always makes me cringe is Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
That's pretty bad.
That's a pretty bad name.
There's like some real like dark implications in there too. Like whose cherries are they popping?
Yeah, like each other's because they're all daddies. So are they just
Yeah.
swapping daughters to fuck, which is
Yeah, there's a weird like
biblical?
gender age difference implication in that whole phrase. And I don't even like it was them were they the ones who were doing like the swing music?
It was
Like
the neo
90s
swing.
alternative swing music along with like basically any of those bands have probably are top in the running for a worst band name. What's the other one? Squirrel Nut Zippers? Is that
Squirrel
another
Nut Zippers is another one.
Squirrel Nut Zippers? There's no the in there. It's not
No
the Squirrel Nut
no
Zippers.
numbers.
That's my pet peeve about some band names is they drop the, and if like you run into a fan of that band, like they'll correct you when you're not saying the right band name. And that's true
Oh,
for like Smashing Pumpkins and Arctic Monkeys. They all should have the before that,
but they
but
don't
they
because
don't.
they want their alphabetical listing, you know.
Yeah, it's just Arctic Monkeys. It's just Smashing Pumpkins, Squirrel Nut Zippers. You
Al-
know,
Although now
all
I want to start adding the to bands that absolutely just start saying, "Oh, I went to watch the Primus."
that for bands that don't need it. Yeah, that'll be fun to see on some of those death metal, black metal bands because they're always one word, one power, like one word.
Just the big death metal, like unintelligible logo, but then there's a very clear the at the top.
Yes, in Times New Roman font.
Uh, the Anal Cunt. Another terrible band name. That's definitely gonna be in there.
I don't know. I think. How do you feel about Faith No More as a band name? Like, what about just phrases that kind of have no real meaning behind them, I guess? Like, what does that even mean, Faith No More?
Yeah, like
It feels
for
like
a
we're picking up in the middle of like a sentence.
band name to be that seemingly anti-religion, I would expect Faith No More to be a lot more like Bad Religion,
Yeah, huh?
where it's just they're always just singing about how awful things are under like authoritarian church shit. But Faith No More just wants to talk about sweaty shit.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe their music. They're just singing very sweaty.
Yeah,
They're singing about things in a very sweaty way.
there's a lot of very sweaty sounding bands, you know, like I mean pretty much anything Mike Patton has ever done has just been pouring sweat.
Drenched.
Ugh. I would say the nerdcore version of sweaty music is They Might Be Giants.
Okay.
They still got a great groove to them, but they're also making daily voicemail songs. You know, like it's a nice little trade off.
Would you say that that's a bad band name though? They Might Be Giants.
I actually think that's a
I've
really good
always
one.
liked, yeah, I've always liked it too.
I
It's actually kind
always
of tough to think of a bad, like a worst band name because most of the bands I listen to are already pretty good with their names. Like there's a reason why I know of them and like the general public knows all about them.
like your ear hears that band name and it goes, "Oh, okay, that it makes sense in my head, and I will keep it there." It can,
Oh, Drive Like Jehu. What the fuck does that mean?
yeah. Like
That's pretty
I was
bad.
about to say, it does get murky with bands like "And You Will Know Us by the Trail of the Dead" or whatever that band name is. Like,
Or Godspeed You Black Emperor.
yeah, it's
It's
like
like three ellipses. God's my older brother. It was in a band that's kind of in that similar vein, where it's like a statement being made with like a comma, like there's punctuation marks in the band name.
oh man, that's how you know you're in for a sonic ride when they're like, "Oh, even just our band name is a full technical sentence."
Yeah, you know the singer's going to be shirtless and jumping up on a table.
Yeah, their guitarist is gonna look like he's fresh from substitute teaching with his top button done in like a floral Hawaiian shirt, playing his guitar all the way up here, just pick sweeps the whole time. Bassist is Bootsy Collins.
Yeah, there's always like one guy who's he's like dressed for a different genre of music.
I love when that happens. Like,
That's the only reason why, that's one of my big things about seeing live shows is just seeing how different each of the guys are in the band.
you can kind of see what they're bringing to the table just like by how they look. You're like, oh, okay, that's why they were ever able to get on the radio.
But at the same time, you see like a tiny little chick and like a dude in glasses and one kind of long haired guy just kind of rocking out of the drums, and they're all like playing the same kind of pop music.
Yeah, I like when there's like a band that is famous and you know of them, but then they have a musician with them that's arguably more famous than them, but they're just like, ooh, that's just our session musician for
Are you still
live
talking about
things.
Foo Fighters and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit sometimes.
Is that Foo Fighters?
That's tough because Foo Fighters is almost a super group with how they built themselves, So it's
Or maybe I'm also maybe I'm thinking, what was that noise? You hear that?
no. Oh, I hear a
What?
dog whining.
It sounded like a Chewbacca growl. I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that was a button you pressed or a soundboard,
I need to
or
get
if
my
it was
soundboard back, is what I need to do.
maybe I just jostled something behind my laptop here. But I was also going to bring up in that same vein of like more famous musician being part of a larger band. Was I think it was Michael McDonald was in the Doobie Brothers for like a spell, like as their lead singer,
That's beautiful.
and they were still just called the Doobie Brothers, or maybe that's what I'm not sure. Maybe being in the Doobie Brothers is what propelled him into a solo career. I don't think he
Could
was a
be.
solo guy before.
I don't think he went being Michael McDonald into Doobie Brothers and then went, no, I think I can make it. That was definitely like a
Yeah, he's had immediate regrets. I should have stayed in
this
my lane.
this doobie can burn on its own. And he just
But
leaves and
if you
does
listen
it.
to those songs sung by him with the Doobie Brothers, it really is just Michael, and I like a Michael McDonald song.
I that's not Garfunkel and Oates, the real band, not the comedy one.
Art Garfunkel, I was Simon and
Uh
Garfunkel
no,
and
no, the
Hall and
third one,
Oates.
Hall and Oates. There it is. Hall and Oates is one of those bands where I'm like, because technically it is just Daryl Hall and John Oates. They aren't a band called Hall and Oates. It's always just been those two guys and their songwriting.
Hmm.
But like Hall and Oates as itself, I don't want to say this out loud, but I'm gonna. They were like the outcast of their time. There's always just got to be. There's got to be the one that's like focused on making things sound
Hmm.
right and like, oh hey, we are making a proper song. And then there's got to be the weird one who's just gonna.
They're also very important parts of a whole region's sonic uh, vibe too, because they're like these Philadelphia guys singing soul music, but they're like white dudes. In the same way, like Outkast was this very influential Southern Atlanta rap group.
I uh, I always wonder how regional sounds happen now. Like it doesn't happen anymore because the internet exists. You're not going to get a Prince do it like Prince created that Minneapolis sound that was just
Hmm.
Prince. Pretty much. I don't know any other musicians that sound like Prince from Minneapolis. The only other bands from Minneapolis I know are Husker Du and Motion City Soundtrack, and those sound nothing like Prince.
Yeah, I mean it's reductive to kind of like box people in like that with
Yeah.
that kind of like they're creating a sound for this region or this city.
Oh,
There's all
speaking
doing
of
they're all doing
speaking
different stuff.
speaking of terrible band names, Motion City Soundtrack. I love them, but like I hate
It's a bit
I
of
mean,
confusing name. I've the every time I hear it, I keep thinking, what's this Motion City movie?
right? There's also it's like the difference between the Trans-Siberian Orchestra and the Electric Light Orchestra. I'm like, are these orchestras?
Yeah, are these real?
One of them is. I always forget which one. Probably not ELO, but
I don't even think that is the trans because I never heard is the Trans Siberian isn't it just like another like indie rock group?
I thought they were like an actual orchestra, but they do like some modern shit, but I don't really know because the band name is so bad I don't ever want to go listen to it.
What about a music group that's just it's a solo music project, but the name of the project is a 75 dudes. Is that is that a bad band name? You're just like one guy. but your band
as a solo artist being called 75 Dudes.
Yeah, the Republic of China Army or whatever. People's Republic of China Military. Can you just name your band after the Air Force and stuff like that?
I don't think there's anything. I mean, technically, the United States Air Force is like a trademarked term. I think. I'm not a patent lawyer or whatever names go under, but like, you have to use, like, especially in marketing or in, correspondence with those various branches, you have to use the full fucking thing. It's just like, oh, I have to call you the United States Coast Guard in parentheses USCG, so that they know that that's the acronym that I'm going to put at the end of whatever correspondence in the acronym table.
So technically, can you have a band named Coast Guard?
I
Just
think you
dropping
could.
the US and everything? Just like can you have a band called Navy? As long as you don't call it the US Navy. Just call it the Navy. Or the Army.
I, do, I don't know if you can. Like, no one's done it, but maybe because it's a bad idea and it's a bad band name, but I
That's
don't
fine.
know why they haven't. They should. Someone make a band called The Army. Yes, these are ideas for worst band names. The
Worst
Army.
band names.
All right, let's
All right,
I
enough of that.
was we're gonna, if we're thinking about bands, I was thinking of another idea. It's way too long. The idea is way too long. Uh of Coke and Pepsi, which would be Beatles and Stones? That's the shortest way I could think to ask this question.
Yeah, something about reading it also sets off some kind of grammatical trigger in me.
It's
I don't
like
know if that's is that worded correctly, but whatever.
yeah, as someone who is a writer with a degree in English, I still don't know if I wrote this sentence in any sort of grammatical correctness. It's like starting off with an of. That's not ideal.
But you're asking of these two rock bands, which one is Coke, which one is Pepsi?
Yep.
It's kind of like,
Or vice versa. Of Coke and Pepsi, which one is the Beatles of soft drinks?
hmm. Well, was there an original like a soft drink that Coke and Pepsi uh like ripped off originally, like an African American
Yeah,
soft drink?
I don't know if there was like, back, because didn't Coke start like in Atlanta, like in the South?
Yeah, it was like made as like an elixir, almost like a medicine that you can drink.
Well, there
And
we
then they put
go.
and then they added a shit ton of sugar into it and called it like, let's just carbonate it, put it on the market, Coca-Cola.
So, working off of that math, I would say of the two sodas, Coke probably stole from black people more.
So then I'm gonna say the Stones are Coke
Ooh,
and the Beatles are
okay.
Pepsi.
I like it because I also think that the Beatles are, just us.
I also feel like the Stones probably did more actual Coke than the Beatles.
That's
So that's where my mind's kind of leaning towards. I think the Beatles probably would be a better image. Like if they were around today, Pepsi would definitely use them for their marketing tactics more, I think, than the Rolling Stones.
and
Like
Pepsi did have Michael Jackson.
Rolling Stones are too like a little too rock and roll, I think. And Coke, that's more what Coke as a brand represents. I think more of that lifestyle.
Giving the world a Coke with some polar bears.
Yeah, they're marketing to a different demographic of people. They're trying to appeal to older dudes with big lifted trucks.
Whoever's name they could put on a bottle. A
Hmm.
good American name. Have you ever
Yeah,
found
they're
your
doing
name on a Coke bottle? I don't even. I
I
don't
guess
think
it is.
they've done that campaign for like 10 years. I don't remember, but
I thought they were still doing it. No, they're doing like the share with Michelle or whatever. Yeah.
share. Yeah, I'm gonna share a Coke. I don't like. I don't like the idea of sharing a soda. I don't. That was definitely a pre-COVID campaign
Yeah,
to
for
like
sure.
share a bottle of a drink with somebody. Uh, I also hate that they started making a bottle of soda 2 servings.
Is that right? Do you actually read the servings on the bottle and
Yeah,
like heed them?
I read the side just to know if I am still within society's acceptable standards of fatness.
Hmm.
And it's like when they cut it in half like that, I know I am no longer.
That's a recent thing they've been doing.
I don't know when they started doing it, but I just looked the other day and I was
You're
like,
talking
"Oh
about like
shit."
you're talking about just like a 16-ounce bottle you can
Yeah,
pick
just
up
like
like
a
at the
regular
liquor
bottle.
store.
Yeah, and any like regular bottle you can get. They'll be like, 1 serving is like 120 calories. And they're like, this bottle has 2.5 servings or whatever.
Jeez.
And I'm
And that's
like,
a
I
lot of
don't.
sugar too, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
85%.
That's why they do
One
it so that
can.
they can have on the thing like, oh, see, 1 serving doesn't exceed your daily dose of sugar. Except the bottle has like 3 servings in it. I don't want to have to drink my soda like it's an edible. I'm not
Hmm.
trying to dose my regular soda.
Yeah, you want a soda to just drink it all in one go.
And that's why I think that the Beatles are Pepsi.
Oh, you also think Beatles are Pepsi? Okay.
I just think that like much the way that the South used to be Democrats and then something shifted, something the KKK shifted away and it became more of a blue and red switch. The thing happened. I think the same thing happened with Coke and Pepsi and the Beatles and the Stones.
Yeah, I think I can see that happening. Hmm.
And that's because I think the Stones exist the same way Coke exists. It was just some rich people being like, "What's this idea of a drink someone else had? Let's steal it and pretend that we're the best at it." And that's what they've
Hmm.
been doing for decades. Beatles are just
Here's
trying to exist, man, in your Burger Kings and
and
your
of those classic
Taco
rock
Bells.
groups, which one would be the Baja Blast of the style of like old guy rock and roll, old pop
That's
rock?
that's tough because if I think about Mountain Dew Baja Blast against the base Coke and Pepsi platforms, I like it more pretty much no matter what. When I think of like an older musician that is flashier and better really at what he's doing than either of the sodas, I'm going to say Baja Blast is Elton John.
Okay, I was gonna in that same kind of vein. I was gonna say Ted Nugent, but yeah, no, that's good too.
I don't think Baja Blast wants to fuck kids. At least I hope not, because I love Baja Blast and I don't love Ted Nugent.
But he's also that kind of guy. He's like always just sort of do just out there, very colorful in his own unique way. Not good for you
I will
in large
say,
amounts.
before Fox News got a hold of him, Ted Nugent was fun to me.
Hmm.
He was just like doing Toby Keith movies and being a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he was like shooting a gun and shredding a guitar.
Yeah, now it's all downhill. Now he's become the Kid Rock of
It,
no, they're all
there's
just
already
kind of
a there's already a Kid Rock too.
yeah. And honestly, Kid Rock, I think I like Kid Rock better than I like Ted Nugent.
Kid Rock's a pretty bad band name too, though.
Would you consider Kid
You could make
Rock to be
do a
the band
band.
name or his pseudonym?
I'm sure it's just his pseudonym, but it'll be fun to have a band called Kid Rock. You just can't do it now.
I also like the inverse where it's like a band is very much pretty much just the front man And so like Fred Durst just is Limp Bizkit. And that would be a terrible name to be called.
Oh, just going around like
Just like as a nickname.
that's my moniker.
Yeah.
I'm Limp Bizkit, the rap rock guy.
Yeah. People jizz on me. What's their guitarist? Wes Borland, the guy that kind of looks like an alien.
Well, yeah. On stage, he's always like dressed up and has all the makeup on, wearing platform shoes. He's like wrapped in foil.
It made me burp. It just in thought.
Thinking all this soda.
The soda's getting me. Why did dudes do that shit? You know, like Wes Borland, everyone that's in that one band, Mudvayne.
Why were so many guys painting their faces like clowns?
It's just like, I understand if it's the gimmick, like Slipknot, I get it. You're all crazy. ICP, I get it. It's in the name. They are clowns. But like to just have like one weird dude in your band, it's such a strange dynamic to just have one weird dude holding it down.
Yeah, but I think it gives the band as a whole balance, because then all those other guys who play those instruments in Limp Bizkit, you don't know anything about them. There's nothing about them. They're just bland, ordinary dudes. The guy who DJs looks like a DJ. The guy who plays bass looks like a guy who would play bass. And then you have Wes Borland, who looks like a sex cyborg. And
he looks like he's
pulling all the attention away from them,
He does like the weird gyrations with it. Like he's trying to find the right magnetic spot on his body for it to vibrate on.
Yeah. It's like him and Fred Durst are like the only real personalities coming through.
Yeah, that's true.
And you need that like in a band. You need a group of like at least one or two guys who can be the weirdos or the front guys with the charisma, so the other guys can just kind of lay back and do their jobs. You don't need three guys with a thing going on,
I did see. So,
like imagine if imagine if the Beatles, Ringo Starr, dressed like a crazy clown guy.
Ringo was the Wes Borland of the Beatles, just coming in and be like, I have a song about an octopus. And they're like, we're trying to do acid. Can you not?
To be fair, they all kind of dressed up like they all kind of coordinated, at least like when they're going through their visual eras of as the band. They all kind of they stuck with the theme. No one like really stepped out of bounds too hard.
Even when they were about to break up, and it was like, okay, well, John Lennon wants to be Jesus, Paul McCartney just wants to be a dude.
But they all had beards. They all had facial hair,
Yeah, they all got
it
70s
wasn't like one
as
of them
fuck.
was still had the bowl cut, wearing a Sergeant Pepper colorful Colonel uniform.
Would Keith Richards be considered the weird one of the Stones? Or is their front man just bringing everything?
I think Mick Jagger's weirder.
Yeah, I feel like Mick Jagger just went so off the deep end that Keith Richards was like, I just have to stand here and play okay. Like he's holding it down.
Just the sheer force of will to remain alive after living so hard is enough to kind of like take you out of that running for like weirdest guy in a band. Because even if someone does seem as like a weird person, like I feel like he's earned that, right? Like does that make sense?
Yeah. What about dudes that think they're the weird one? Like I'd say in the Beatles, I'd say that's John Lennon. He thinks he's like ooh, look at me, I'm the crazy one making up fun words. He's not the weird one. Because it's like weird and manufactured, much like, most of his life. But like, is there any other bands you can think of where it's just, I don't know, I guess Smashing Pumpkins. I think Billy Corgan really thinks a lot of himself.
Yeah, I never hear like good stories about Billy Corgan being like a stand-up, affable guy all that much.
And it's like
Uh,
if
Feels like
if
weird politically too.
yeah, and it's like if you're gonna be the weird one in a band, something in the music has to translate with it, you know? Like I'd say Smashing Pumpkins is like sure they get some orchestrated stuff in there and it's a little sonically different than other bands, but it's not like crazy different.
Mm-mm.
They aren't like steam powered giraffe, you know, like they're not.
Gotcha. Yeah. So your question is a group where the guy who thinks he's weird is not weird at all, or
Yeah. Or my favorite, Tom DeLonge in Blink 182.
would he be he'd be your pick for a weird guy who thinks he's weird but really is
Yeah,
just
he
nothing
thinks he's
really
weird and
special?
he sometimes thinks he's Jesus. And every once I'm like, Tom, the only thing you got going for you is your downstrokes because he doesn't like to strum up.
Hmm.
So he'd like everything is just like super fast downstrokes. I'm like, that's like literally the skill. That's what makes the sound work. Other than that, the alien stuff, the pretending that you're Bono stuff, like it's there. The formula already exists. He's not doing it like if he got on stage and was literally like, "Oh, I am an alien," and peeled all his skin off,
Hmm.
fucking nutso. But then they would still have to play all the small things, you know, like they're just not.
Yeah, that's tough. I can't think of an example of that kind of kind of guy that like everyone else would know, like who I'm talking about.
Actually, I have that same situation. There was a local band in South Dakota. It's been long enough that I don't think any of them would ever see this. There was a band in South Dakota that they all dressed as if they had like escaped a mental hospital and murdered people.
Hmm.
So already strange concept, but fun. They did I went to a bunch of their shows because it was funny to just like go and watch them fucking go for it. But there was a small era of time where they had a guitarist who didn't quite get it.
So he
it
wasn't like dressed up with the other guys. He wasn't
he
playing a part in the greater universe that the band was trying to create around them.
he did sometimes. It's
Hmm.
like they all showed up in there, you know, like ooh, bloodstained scrubs and we're crazy. Sometimes he would wear like a jester costume.
Hmm. Just no explanation given.
And like I don't know if that's like
Him trying to out be standing out in a band that's already kind of a bunch of weirdos.
yeah, so like I don't know
Just
if
his
he
weird
was
thing.
I don't know if he was trying to Wes Borland the already weird band and be like, no, this is like he was trying to be the bucket head of them, being like, no, this is
Hmm.
just my thing. I am the jester. Or if he just some like maybe sometimes that's his identity is Jester Man. I'm pretty sure he got kicked out of the band or left the band or whatever. But he does. I don't think he plays with them anymore.
That's fair.
Uh, and so all the things I've seen out of them lately, they're all costumed up. They even have like a hype man, but it's just like a nurse lady who goes around being creepy, covered in blood. It's fun.
Okay, so they doubled down on the whole stage kind of theatrics. I'm getting that's
You
sort of like
bet they
how
did.
some bands like the Aquabats do. Like they'll come with a troupe of other people who are just like in costume as like these other characters.
Yeah, hey, like if you gotta have a
So they're not,
merch guy, you might as well have him wear some spandex and have
yeah,
fun with it.
they're not full time like in the band or really play an instrument. They're just kind of there to almost MC some of the segments.
Just like keep the energy up and just be dancing
Yeah, kind of
around with
dancing
everybody.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing playing a little like role in the middle of their song, acting out something with some other people dressed up in costumes.
That is what I love about weird bands is like after a while you can just get away with like I said about Steam Powered Giraffe earlier. Now they have like a 5-minute ballet thing in the middle of their shows. because one of their people just knows ballet and they're like, hey, come on up here. We'll stop the robot singing thing for a second and you just do some ballet.
Crazy.
Right? It's like, I didn't think the band could get any weirder. It's like, oh, do you want to see like vaudevillian style, like improv, but also with singing fake robots? Well, too bad. They have to stop the improv to do ballet.
Oh man. Of the sodas, which one would be steam powered giraffe?
So there's this Asian soda called Sarsi that steals Pepsi's look but tastes like Pepto-Bismol. That one.
Oh, gross.
Very acquired taste. I got it 3 or 4 times as a lark, as a spree, as I went through the Asian grocery stores. I was like, look at this shit, let's buy it. It's gross,
Tastes
but I
like
gotta drink all of
Pepto?
it. Yeah, it tastes almost exactly like Pepto-Bismol.
Like carbonated Pepto-Bismol?
Yeah, but it looks
Like a
like
bubble
Pepsi.
gum. They're trying to go for like a bubble gum flavored soda. That's my thing about when sodas try to do like a flavor that's already a sweet thing, like cotton candy or like gum. It's
I
just,
think I think they were just going for like a root flavor,
oh, really?
like part root beer, part sweetness, and it just ended up tasting herbaceous.
Gross.
But
I
like
can't do that.
after a few joke tries, I got into it. I was like, this soda's kind of good. And then again, I also love chewable Pepto tablets. So like, who knows? Who knows what tastes I've acquired?
What about Cactus Cooler? Who's Cactus Cooler?
Oh my god.
Who's a good
Ooh.
Cactus Cooler? Who would fit in nicely into the niche that is Cactus Cooler of
Honestly,
all of the bands?
I think Aquabats does fit the cactus cooler perfectly.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Like regionally very successful. Nationally, they have a
They have
career.
it has
Internationally,
a cult
known.
following. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're doing it. They're not
What
going
is
anywhere.
what is the cactus? What is that flavor supposed to? Is it supposed to be like a fruit punch
I thought it
or
was
something?
cactus flavor, but I've never eaten a cactus,
No,
so I
it's
have
not
no
cactus
idea.
at all. It's like it's like a sarsaparilla kind of,
Well,
I
now
guess.
we're gonna get to the bottom of
You gotta get to
this.
the bottom of this cactus cooler. And where can we buy cactus cooler, Bobby?
Orange and pineapple flavor,
Okay,
according
that's
to Amazon. It's on
that's what
Amazon.
because those are the two flavors I think of when I think of the old West.
Ooh, you could get like some of the discontinued ones are still out there. Uh, you can get a single can of Cactus Cooler Orange Pineapple Blast for $22.
Holy shit! I thought there was so they stopped making cactus cooler, huh?
I guess they must have, or maybe they stopped making the specific orange pineapple one that everyone liked.
Hmm.
Because yeah, oh well,
Maybe it's
you can
just a
get a
or maybe it's just a California thing.
could be you can get a 6 pack of it for
Hmm.
$17. That's still fucking nuts, dude. What?
Yeah, it's just definitely more of a regional thing. I maybe it was just something that I just kind of grew up with more, so very specific to one region and its popularity. Maybe the cactus cooler of bands is Hall and Oates. Maybe Hall and Oates is the cactus cooler.
Now all I can think about is what's the worst drink?
What's the worst drink? Like schoolyard rules here? Like you want to like say the milk mixed with root beer mixed with ketchup packets.
I don't think I think
The real
we
you
go with
want to
singular
what's the
like
worst like potable drink that
yeah, not
people
like mixed together stuff unless it's like
are
no,
we
no, even
counting
like Ovaltine and 7 Up. I won't accept that. It's got to be like how it's supposed to be made, but it still sucks.
we're kind of just
'Cause
now are we it feels like we're just kind of narrowing it down to what would be considered like health drinks, like antibiotic, like those kind of
I
like
don't
kombuchas and stuff, or even energy drinks. Like I
I
don't
don't
think
like
they
those
taste.
kombuchas though.
Yeah, that they're not good. So that would probably be one of the worst drinks. Drink is a very general, I think, term too.
That's true
Um,
because they did have those Campbell's soup on the go drinkable soups. And
I think those breakfast essentials are kind of bad, but like
they
there's
do.
enough chocolatey notes in there to like power it through. but I think they kind of
chocolate
have like a weird chalky kind of aftertaste that kind of
ch-
messes up your stomach a little bit.
chocolate can cover up a lot of sins, like
Oh
especially
yeah.
with all the like the proteins and workout powders. They always have a chocolate flavor because you can dump extra chemicals in some shit if you just put a little bit of chocolate in there.
Yeah, to mask it up, mask up all the
Yeah,
chemicals,
but
which is what they
I've
should have been doing in East Palestine. Just covering up. They should have derailed a chocolate train.
that's that's what you do. If you have a bad, if you have a really bad accident for the environment, hey, BP, another oil spill. Yeah,
That's how you gotta reset the news cycle.
yep,
There's too much news
chocolate
about
milk.
all this vinyl chloride leaking out into the waterways and the airstreams, and we just need a shipment of Cadbury cream eggs to be knocked over in some podunk town in West Virginia or something.
Man, I so what's crazy to me is that there's a place called East Palestine in Ohio.
Yeah,
You're
it's been
telling
the whole time too, I guess.
like you're telling me they didn't already stage an accidental chemical spill in an East Palestine in Ohio? Like I would have thought the FBI would have firebombed that town a decade ago.
Yeah.
Like
You want to talk about worse drinks? Their water.
all right, new worst drink topic. Who do you think has worse water, Ohio or Flint,
Or-
Michigan?
Man, Flint's been in through the ringer for a
It's
long
like
time
15,
too.
it's like 15 years and they still don't have drinkable water.
At that point, like, how can we? It's like there are how I can't even like wrap
The
my head around
of
living in that kind of situation where like
Well,
you can't even get tap water.
there's a generation of mutant children now that can just drink just straight out of the tap.
It's
Like
fucking crazy.
eat some grass, eat some rocks, take a drink of the water, you'll be fine.
Well, I've never had water spiked with any kind of trace amounts of metals or anything in it, so
Well,
uh
you ain't been living.
yeah. Um I'm gonna say Ohio probably has the worst off water now. Just because of like the kind of chemicals that are in there. And
Yeah,
Flint
it's
wasn't
real
just like
bad.
a lot of lead. I'm not saying like lead is you would take lead over
Yeah.
fucking acid.
Lead's the old fashioned
That's
poison. We already know.
the oldest old flavor.
I don't actually
I mean,
know anything about those chemicals that they spilled.
neither
I'm
are
just
good.
assuming it's bad.
Yeah, neither are good. I feel like with Flint, you can at least maybe get away with one or two glasses without noticing. But again, I don't know shit. I don't know anything about
What wait,
water
one or two
laden with
glasses of just like drinking it?
yeah, yeah, without like picking up the traces of lead in it or whatever whatever the problem is with the Flint water is.
I did see a TikTok of like the Ohio people, and it's like the chemical people came by and they're like, "It's safe to drink. Don't worry about it." And the guy just holds up a glass of the chemicals they're talking about. He's like, "So you'll drink it?" He just like hands him the
Hand it to
glass to
him.
guys. He's like, well, let's not be crazy here." He's like, "You just said it's safe to drink. You want all of us to keep drinking this. So drink some right now on camera." And he just keeps being like, "Well, I didn't say you should drink it." And then it's like, hold the fuck on, man.
Yeah,
He just really thought he could get away with it. And they're like,
that's
it had the
crazy.
same energy of that one video where the guy's like, "How come I can't say the N word?" And the guy just looks at him and goes, "Say it.
Jeez.
Say it right now. I'll say it with you." Like it had that
I
same
would not
energy.
like
Call out.
I would not want to have that guy's job of being like the spokes guy for the chemicals
Yeah,
that just came pouring out of a train and into a very major watershed.
if you work for a chemical company, I guarantee you aren't being like, "Oh, we could drink barrels of this stuff. That's why we're selling it everywhere." It's like, well, this is a byproduct of a byproduct that we happen to find a market for.
Yeah.
And we hope no one sees us selling this because it'll give your children just webbed dicks, multiple dicks. They're all webbed in like a fan. Just kids fucking octo dicking around. You know how it goes.
Just a lot of loose skin around the dick. Is that just me? Are you just talking about more foreskin?
No, technically, yes. Well, what happens is the scrotal sac just grows over the entire lower half of the body.
Oh
So
God. So you gotta
you're
like so you gotta unwrap the whole package.
yeah, you have to get a circumcision upon birth to free the legs.
That's crazy.
What
So
if that
yeah,
could happen?
that's whatever drink gives you the web penis. That's my pick for worst drink.
Beautiful. What's the we're gonna add? Now we're gonna add. What's the worst drink? Webbed penis stew. All right. I think we came to a pretty good decision on the worst drink. It's
Also, I'm not the
whatever.
biggest fan of Cactus Cooler. I don't know. Maybe maybe I can put that down there
Yeah,
too. I
I've
feel
never
like
heard of Cactus Cooler.
it's okay. I think my big issue with it was like as it was like a you would have this weird aftertaste with it where it almost feels like you're more dehydrated after drinking it. And that was my big thing. I think it tastes great as like a fruity tropical punch type of thing. It's just the residual kind of effect afterwards. Like after it settles in you, it just kind of feels like it made your mouth more dry,
I had that
which
same
makes
thing
sense. Cactus Cooler.
with the Hawaiian drink company, the Hawaiian Sun drinks. That you can get them at like L and L when you go there, but they
There's
have
like those
one.
canned sodas that they have.
Yeah, it's not even soda. It's just like juice, just various passion like
Oh, gotcha.
various like tropical juices. But they have like a guava one, or maybe it's like a passion orange guava mixture. I don't remember. Either way, it didn't have pulp, but it was just so thick and like chunky.
You're talking that sounds a lot like some of those Kerns
Yeah,
drinks
it was
because they
like
can
that.
also be a little syrup. Like they're just too syrupy for me. They're probably like
It's
a really fun treat if you're like 10, but when
yeah,
you're 31, it's too much. It's like worse than soda, some of those things.
because it's like, oh well, we distilled down this already sweet fruit. We distilled it down, then we added corn syrup to it,
Yeah.
and
And
that's
if
the drink you're gonna have.
and for a while I was drinking those things thinking like, "Oh, it's the healthy thing to have," because there's a big picture of the fruit on the can.
Yeah,
But no, it has just as much sugar as like a can of Dr. Pepper.
that's what's. I hate I hate coming across them, but on Instagram, every once in a while, that'll be like, "This is how much sugar is in one thing of Coke. This is how much sugar is in whatever." But one of them's put a fucking Cinnabon in there.
Okay.
It was like a bunch of drinks and a bunch of stuff, and it's like, "Ooh, when you go to Starbucks, this has this," and then they put a Cinnabon on the end of it, and it was, of course, like a mound of sugar. And like, I never labor under the delusion that Cinnabon is healthy for me, because I mean, it's a sweet bread with a sweet
The cinnamon
cinnamon
roll.
filling
It
covered
they
in
give it
frosting.
yeah, I mean when you buy it from the mall, it's already glazed up, but they give you a second like cup of
Yep.
icing for
Right
you to
on
like
top.
put more on there. Like
Yep.
it's like a separate glaze. It's like a separate kind of icing, right? What they do?
Well, no,
They
they
do a
just
specific
when it's hot, they put the same frosting on there, and then it kind of like gets on all the crannies, and then they just give you a
another
shot of the cool one on top to get you more textures.
okay. Get you another dollop of that.
Yeah. And hey, now we got to go to the mall and get some Cinnabons because I need it.
Cinnamon, I that's like a once a year kind of treat.
Get
And
one of them.
I already hit my quota this year with Cinnabon.
Oh, I haven't reached my quota yet. I also don't do what I do because I can get away with it because people look at my face and just assume I'm saying words correctly. I like to go out, I like to go up and call them cinnamon bond rolls.
Oh, when you order them?
Yeah, so let me get one of them cinnamon bond rolls, and they're like, sure.
That's fun. They
Uh,
don't say anything to you.
no, because
They just
because
accept
like
it.
Cinnabon, and then people sometimes say Cinnabon, even though it's a
Mhm.
bon. But adding the Cinnabon to the regular word, they completely tune it out. They're like, yeah, cinnamon bon
One of them
roll.
Cinnabon rolls.
And it's like redundant, but they're just
Mhm.
they're also working under several layers of frosting like I am at any given point. So they're just
That's like when I order a Big Mac sandwich at McDonald's. I always say, "Give me the Big Mac sandwich, please."
oh, give me the Big Mac sandwich, please, McDonald's.
Because I don't want them to. I guess the reason I do that is I don't want them to get confused.
They just
I
give
want
you
this.
that one guy who's
They
eaten
just
like
give me a.
5 million Big Macs.
They just bring a dude up to the window named Mac, who's really large, a large Mac.
One large Mac, sir.
I just want to talk to one big guy named Mac,
They try to
please.
clarify, like, did you want a Big Mac or did you want to talk to large Macintosh?
Large Macintosh. Is that the shit? Is that what it's supposed to be? It's a big Macintosh? The big Macintosh sandwich?
Well, yeah, everyone knows that it was started in New York City, the Big Apple. And so they were like, hey, we can't call our sandwich the Big Apple. So they called it the Big Macintosh. And everyone's like, I'm not going to order that. They shortened it. And then one guy ate a fuckload of them. Still does.
Hell yeah.
Big Mac, webbed penis stew.
That dude they should just name the sandwich after that guy at this point.
His name is not.
Yeah, it's also Big Mac.
His name is Don Gorske.
Call it the
Gorske special.
Gorske Gorger. Gorske the big Gorske. Big Gorske.
Have you ever seen this guy?
Yeah, he's like he kind of looks like John Lennon, right? He kind of looks like the Beatles.
John Lennon, except he has like a bowl cut and then
like 7'1".
full sideburns.
He's also like super tall.
Yeah, he's just
He looks
a lanky
huge.
boy.
Yeah, he's a big old fucking just tank. He just metabolizes that shit so fast. He's not like overweight. He's just like a big fucking weird looking guy.
The current record, he has eaten over 32,672 hamburgers from the U.S. fast food chain McDonald's.
Yeah.
I bet I've eaten more individual burgers from McDonald's than that.
Okay, just like ended like all like hamburgers across the board.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to take this guy's chain.
Yeah, I mean he's just a brand loyalist.
Hold on. Now we gotta do some official math.
Yeah.
So
can we also move the question? I'm not sure how I feel about web penis stew being on there on a product that I'm attached to. the Donald Gorske method.
Okay.
They eat a Big Mac sandwich every day.
So he has had 32,672 hamburgers from McDonald's, and that got him in the Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah. But 32,672, we're going to divide that by the 352 days in a year. That's 92 burgers.
365 days a year?
Oh, yeah, 365. I don't know where I got 352 from. I'm just missing days. That's 89 and a half burgers a day, a year.
Fuck, a day.
So,
holy shit.
I think I could eat 90 burgers a day for a year and still be alive. Not really. I don't think I could do that. What if we divide
that? You said 89 a day, right?
89 and a half burgers a day to make his record.
That's crazy.
What if we could divide that by 9, just take 9-10 years to do this. That's only 10 burgers a day.
There's no way he can eat 89 burgers a day though, right?
No, he's been alive since 1953. He's got a bit of a jump on me as far as
that's right.
hamburger eating.
He's been eating these hamburgers for like what,
50 years?
50 years?
He's had 2 Big Macs like every day for 50 years.
So wait, when did he start eating these Big Macs?
Like 50 years ago. Okay. That's more now.
When they first came out.
Yeah, like right when it started. He's been eating Big Macs. So if I can keep on pace, 10 burgers a year. 10 burgers per year. I can be the new Donald Gorske in 2034.
10 just 10 burgers a year?
Oh,
Or
no.
do you mean
Oh,
10 a day?
per day. Hold on, that's 10 burgers
That feels
per day.
that's still a lot. Like ethically, I don't know how I feel about no seeing you eat 10 burgers a day. If
This
I
is
could like
my
a lot.
pledge to you, America. I will eat 10 McDonald's hamburgers a day until 2034, and I will get the new. Oh fuck no! What if he's still alive and eating 2 Big Macs a day? So that means he's
He's still building on his record.
gonna grow. Okay, no, I extended it to 2034 as a buffer anyway. So if I go to the end of 2034, eating 10 burgers per day,
Per day.
I will become the new Supreme Burger Champion of Guinness Book of World Records. I think it's attainable.
I think so too.
If I just go strictly like McDouble,
You also got to like not die in those 11 years. There's that too.
oh, that'd be a lot of jogging that I don't do.
Yeah, if you die, you don't get the record, unfortunately.
What if I get buried with the rest of the burgers that I'm supposed to eat?
that you committed to eating.
I just get buried with
It's more of
30,000
I
burgers.
don't know. It's a feels like a Pyrrhic victory at that point. Like there's no use going forward, you know. It's more of like a statement, I guess, like a visual that you want to be remembered by, I guess.
So going away from the wrong math that I was doing to eat 10 burgers a day for over a decade, how how many days do you think I could stay alive eating 10 burgers a day before my heart just stops? I think I'd get 4 days in
Yeah, it's definitely
before I'm just
I
having a
was
heart attack.
I was definitely gonna say like under a week.
Yeah, because like I thought about it and I was like, I've eaten too many burgers before, but too many burgers was like, ooh, I had a Big Mac and 4 McDoubles. You know, like 5 is a fuckload of burgers to
In a
eat.
day?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like I've done too much burgers before, but it's been like 5, like 6, never done it. I've tried I've tried to eat 6.
I had like I had like a double stack, whatever like the A&W double stack double
Yeah.
cheeseburger they got, and that was too much.
I like going to Wendy's and getting the really small like like bacon single cheeseburger with a little lettuce, tomato, like a
I
dollar
feel like
seventy
you'll I
nine.
feel like you'll make it maybe a little further with the smaller hamburgers,
Yeah,
you
if
know,
I go
just
small
less
hamburgers with
no maybe no
vegetables on them,
cheese. Yeah, maybe no cheese on it, no mayonnaise. Nothing that's like super high with the cholesterol.
this is becoming the worst. This is becoming the worst version of Super Size Me, where I'm just trying to figure out how I can survive off of only burgers
For
or
to
maximize my burger intake
to beat
without
a
dying.
world record held by a guy named Donald Gorske.
All right, well that's gonna be that's the guy to beat, guys. Donald Gorske. If you can eat 10 burgers a day for the next 10, 11 years, you too can be a champion. I'm gonna have to do some math for the next podcast to like estimate how many burgers I think I've eaten in my life.
That'll be fun.
Because I think
You can run some models, run some simulations.
I've definitely cracked 10 grand. Like there's no way
For
I
all
haven't eaten
time
that many
on
burgers.
the burger chart.
Yeah, we'll do some math.
Fuck, I can't even get a grasp on how many burgers I've had. It's a lot. I feel like everyone who's lived in this country has had well over 1,000 hamburgers in their lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, because like
It's an easy number to, I think, hit.
I'm not saying that I on purpose eat a burger every week, but like on average, I've definitely eaten a burger, maybe 2 a week for my entire life.
Yeah, I definitely say like at the minimum I'm having every year is maybe like 60 hamburgers.
Well, that's America for you.
It's at
I
least
think
like
we can.
a, averaging at least a burger a week, you know? What else
All
do you want to talk
right.
about? what else do you want to talk about?
That's pretty much it for this week.
Oh, and so we're not going to touch on the Warriors. The
No,
Wario question?
we're gonna have to get to that one. We had too many good band questions that I had to get through, and then I just got stuck
Yeah,
on burgers. So we'll get to my other wonderful other topics
not the
later.
first time that's happened.
Maybe get Jonathan in on some of these.
Yeah, get an expert in here. Get an
All
expert on
right.
these burgers.
You got things to plug, Austin? You got anything going on?
No,
Good.
absolutely. What, this is the first podcast I think I've been on since before the pandemic, maybe?
Yeah, it's
Maybe
been
there's one or two like in there. A lot's happened, but nothing has really changed all that much. I'm still around, not on any comedy things, not doing a lot of comedy, just sort of hanging in there.
we're gonna take them all by surprise with our hard opinions about the Stones and burgers.
Yeah, we just gotta
Get them. We're gonna fucking
we gotta match their energy with our energy,
yeah. Our energy is gonna
which is
fucking.
which is jaded and weird.
I have things to plug. I have a show the day this comes out in Carson City at that one brewery. As a,
Music, right?
yeah, doing a music thing. Oh yeah, Rooster T. Feathers on the 22nd. I almost forgot about that thing that I really should have been advertising by now.
I
Whoopsie.
guess I want to. This is less of a plug for me, more just a plug for Reno and comedy in general. But the Don't Tell comedy is coming to a
Yeah,
location here, Reno, Tahoe, Truckee. It's all being spearheaded by Sarah, Andrea B, Sarah Rooker, and David Gamble, and then whoever those Don't Tell
the
comedy
Titans.
producers are.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited to
they're all
see what they're
collaborating on
bringing.
that. Yeah, so I'm gonna probably be there just to check it out. I don't think I was actually booked for it. So,
Hey, in the very least, get to meet some new comics that are secret.
yeah, other than that, you might see me around town trying to go out and check out more shows, but that's about it.
Everyone, buy Austin a burger or a cactus cooler.
You can send me money. I would also just Venmo me some Venmo me some money. It was my birthday like 2 weeks ago. That'd be cool
That's
too.
that's a great plug, guys. Venmo Austin money. It's
Yeah,
it's the most direct way to support artists you like.
these prices are getting out of hand.
It's true. Well, I'm out of stuff. All right, see you
All
in the
right,
living room, Austin.
see ya.